Hello and welcome to a brief chat through of the cars we've got going under the hammer on Wednesday. It's Monday morning, we've just helped unload the van, our colleagues are putting a few cars into position and we've been asked to talk about some of the entries. We're open for view tomorrow, Tuesday the 28th, from 12 all the way through till 8 o'clock. And then doors open at 9 o'clock on the Wednesday. The first car goes under the hammer at 1 p.m. Now for a lot of people, their favourite, because of the James Bond connection, is going to be the Aston Martin DB5. But this particular example that we've been asked to sell is unusual in that it was owned for the best part of 30 years by Andrew English, who's long been the motoring correspondent for the Daily Telegraph and really does know the difference between a good car and a bad car, as I think our colleagues have found out.
Yeah, Julian and Lucas, who did the photography session on the car, said it drove very, very well. I think it's got a Harvey Bailey handling kit on it, hasn't it? Yeah.
Harvey Bailey handling kit. The engine, when it was overhauled, was taken out to 4.2 litres.
Yeah.
Because Andrew English did some sprints and hill climbs in it, you can tell the suspension and the brakes and all that sort of thing being gone through. So really, in a way, it's the kind of car that you would expect to do well on an Alpine trial. Not perhaps as well as a Fraser-Nash BMW 319, Paul.
Definitely not. Definitely not. No. Well tipped that way. Yeah, the 319 was bought by the first owner and pressed straight into competition use, which I think's a really nice part of its history. And there's a real good number of period shots of it, hill climbing.
Oh, everything. Hill climbing, sprinting, circuit race.
Yeah.
You know, if there was a milk float to go against,
it'd have a go.
Yeah, and I think it was specified with wire wheels.
Specified with wires from new. And there's a nice letter from the original owner, isn't there?
Yeah.
He wasn't too keen on the original colour scheme, which I think was
yellow and blue.
Yellow and blue. Why not? But he remembered competing the car extensively and that it had some really good successes as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, it's got a wealth of period photos which are excellent.
Yeah.
And then, you know, the thing I love about those BMW 319s, the 328s, the Fraser-Nash versions, you know, is just how small they are.
Yeah.
I mean, compared to a contemporary Alvis or Lagonda or Derby Bentley, I mean, they're tiny.
Minute in comparison, aren't they? And we took the car to the NEC, to the Classic Car Show, and on the stand that we were on, that was the comment that everybody had. They couldn't believe how small it was. And it for things like trialling and hill climbing, ideal for that.
Oh, apart from the engine, which doesn't have the same fancy overhead valve gear as a 328, it's very similar to a 328 in terms of the independent front end, the rack and pinion steering. It's a triangular tubular chassis, so it is very, very lightweight.
Yeah.
And the 328 wasn't just the fastest 2-litre sports car in the world, it had a good tilt at being the fastest car full stop. Just in terms of handling and road holding, you know, which is why one won the Mille Miglia. Yeah. But I mean, the 319, especially the Fraser-Nash BMW version, it's rarer than the 328. There were 26?
26 319 55s in right-hand drive. Of those, I think there's probably roughly 20 known to survive in various conditions. Yeah. So they have survived in fairly good numbers for such a low production volume, haven't they? And I mean, one thing that was really interesting is how easy they were made to be converted to left-hand drive. There was no major development needed. It was all just swap the left-hand drive parts for the right-hand drive parts and away you go, whereas a lot of manufacturers much later down the line made it far more complicated.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the joy of having an inline straight six. Yeah. As soon as the engine's transverse, you've got all sorts of headaches.
Much trickier.
Yeah, but I just love the story behind that with the Aldingtons. Yeah. You know, they're competing on the Alpine trial in their chain gang cars.
Expecting to win.
They come second in 1933, so they're really gunning for 1934. They throw everything at it, and this frankly almost obscure German manufacturer just walks away with the class. Yeah. So one of the first things they do is, after the trial, drive to the BMW factory and sign a contract. So that really is, if you can't beat them, buy them, join them, whatever.
Exactly,
That whole sort of motorsport theme, I mean, I think it's fabulous. We've got the ex-Patsy Burt, Jaguar XK120 fixed head.
Yep.
You know, that's a rare car in and of itself, one of 195, and a huge gross volume production compared to Fraser Nash, but one of 195 in right-hand drive. Fellow first owners include Le Mans winners,
Yep.
Neville Duke the test pilot,
Yep.
boss of a Curia Cars. So, I mean, you had to be somebody to have one of those. And it was a car that she bought and sprinted and hill climbed.
Yeah.
And it's got a lovely continuous history. But of course, we know the car that little bit more from 2015 and the Colton sale.
Colton sale, yeah, where it came in with, you know, the still to this day the most expensive car that we've sold, the Ferrari 250 GTO short wheelbase. So Richard had some
just the GT short wheelbase.
GT short wheelbase.
Yeah, it's down to you. It's in your contract. You've got to consign and sell a GTO.
Yeah.
Just to remind you.
That's why I don't think I'll be here too much longer. No, joking aside, Richard had a phenomenal collection of cars.
Phenomenal car collection, and he was just a massive petrol head.
Yeah.
So, you know, that car at the time, the best reworked XK120s were produced by a guy called Nigel Dawes, who did some fantastic restoration work full stop. And Richard Colton had the chance of buying a Nigel Dawes XK120 for 40-something thousand.
Yeah.
But in the mid-90s, he spent 80-something thousand building the car that we've got on offer. Yeah. And if you drive it, it shows.
I was going to say, we've talked about 3 cars already, and all of them have been very, very well sorted examples to get in and drive.
Yeah.
Which I think, with the way the classic car scene has gone, is a very important factor nowadays, because you do want to use them, and modern traffic isn't that forgiving anymore.
Yeah, no, I mean that XK120 is right at the extreme of what you can do with a classic car in terms of, yes, it's very, very tractable for road use, but you know, it's developing a good 60-70% more power than it would have done. It's got 4-wheel disc brakes, it's got power steering, it's got a 5-speed gearbox, it's got a limited slip diff. It's got all these lovely goodies on it. So it's, yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of a wolf in very pretty sheep's clothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the thing I love about the sale and love about working for H&H is the sheer diversity. So,
the mix.
You know, I mean, I don't tell James, but I think that Riley 2.6 saloon that he's consigned is fabulous. I don't think I'll ever see one that nice.
Not as nice, no. When it arrived at the office, I think we were all very surprised and impressed with its condition. It's been meticulously restored, hasn't it? And they're a rare car to see anyway. So to see one in such nice condition is a treat. Yeah. Such
nice condition, that two-tone colour scheme, and you know there are just rarity after rarity after rarity. So we've got that Volvo 262 coupe, you know, which I think they only have delivered 200 to the UK market. I think it's of its time, styling-wise.
Yeah, it's very...
it's very distinctive, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And also, I mean, we've got cars that I've never heard of, which, you know, I've been doing this a little bit of time now.
I was going to say, you should know everything under the sun, yeah.
Yeah, well, also, with age comes forgetfulness. So, yeah, I'm giving myself... We've got that Vauxhall 1938, whatever it is, Vauxhall GY 25 horsepower drop head.
Yeah, pretty car.
I can't wait to see that because that is just somebody with a passion and a love.
Yeah,
because you can't say it makes sense to have spent £230,000 restoring
a car that will materialise, or we think will materialise, 40 to 45, I think we've guided it at. So it is a real labour of love, that car, and I'm the same as Damian. I haven't seen it yet, but I am looking forward to seeing that one, because I imagine it's going to be the same as the Riley in terms of just, you know, unexpectedly brilliant condition. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and I mean, I think it's also that. And we have to be grateful for it. The number of people out there who are happy to preserve the motoring heritage at great financial cost to themselves. But that's not the point for them.
Good on them.
Yeah. So, you know, that's just a fabulous thing. And I mean, it doesn't have to be expensive. We've got a flurry of no reserve cars in this sale.
There's a real range of no reserve cars, everything from a Noble M12 through to some pre-war, you know, a
couple of
Model
bullnose
T,
Morrises, Model Ts,
Morrises, and everything in between. And away from the no reserve cars, we've got a real diverse mix of low mileage examples, haven't we? So one that's just turned up first thing this morning was the Jaguar, which is 38,000 miles, something like that. Striking colour combination.
Oh yeah, and it's a second generation car. So, and they did put a lot of design work into that second generation, and it's just got such presence. It
has, yeah.
You know, you put it next to like a modern Continental GTC, and you've kind of got Playboy, and then you've got Playboy in big capital letters. It's really got.
Shout. I mean, it's a dull day here in Buxton at the moment. It's meant to be better for the viewing day and for sale day, I will say that. But it turned up and it was just...
Oh, it's Monaco vibes, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's Monaco vibes, Saint-Tropez.
You could not miss it, yeah. But it does scream over to the south of France for a long weekend. That kind of thing. It'd be ideal for a continental trip like that, for sure. Sure.
And then if you didn't want to be quite so showy... There's the Mercedes-Benz SL55 AMG that's done 26,000 miles. So, you know, that's a lovely, lovely thing. I think it's a 3-owner car. Highly original. Other cars that are more appreciated over time, we've got that, that James has consigned, that beautiful Daimler. So, and that's just obviously a time warp car. So it's still got its dealer number plates on it. It's got its dealer umbrella, all Henleys of Chester. I think it's jet black and parchment or something combination.
Something like that.
And it's crazy low mileage, isn't it?
22,000 miles, one family ownership.
I think so,
So yeah, we're lucky to unearth these kind of cars because you know, the low mileage examples that have been in single ownership or just a couple of owners throughout their lives really do tend to be, you know, outstanding examples, and we're lucky to bring them to market. And
it is just a wonderful cross-section of vehicles. So, you know, if you're in the mood to buy, please come and see us tomorrow. We're open for view from 12 till 8. If you're just a petrol head, it's an incredible selection, and there's no charge for viewing on viewing day between 12 and 8. And then again, doors will open 9 o'clock on the Wednesday morning. The auction will start at 1. You're available. We can bid via the telephone. You can fill in the forms online for that. You can bid online via our website, or absolutely come down and enjoy the Pavilion Gardens in person. So we very much hope to see you here.